Hello. Is the screen visible?
Not yet.
Okay, something wrong then. Let me try sharing it again. Screen allow. Check now. Is it visible? SAP screen I have shared.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll just recap what are the transactions we discussed because this will be going on while you discuss. So SC11 is for data dictionary. Then we saw SC80. This will discuss this ABAP workbench actually. Then SC38 we saw. We'll discuss in details. This is for reports. And SC37. This is for function modules. Then SM30 for maintaining table entries. This is called my maintenance transaction. So we'll put it as maintain table entries. So yesterday we did not have a change access. So today we'll start with creating everything. Okay. So what we'll have to create first is the package SC21. This also I'll put it down. Sixth one is SC21 packages. Create, modify. So actually in normal projects, you will have existing packages, but as this is a new server, we will just try creating our own package. So I'm creating a package named ZDemoABAP. So let's check if it is existing. ZDemo. Okay, anyways, if you try creating, it will show whether it is existing or not. So on this pop-up, we'll get the package name, demo package for training. Okay, this is a short description. Application component. So these application components are related to different modules. If you see application platform basis. So what will happen is if your developments are specific to any module, you can give that. You see all this QM, logistics, PP, every module will have an application component. There is nothing specific to ABAP as such. So what we'll do is maybe we will take materials management. Okay, the software component it's completely depending on the installation, what kind of installation you do. So this is home by default. I mean for default component, whatever they keep, that will be coming in. These are the other options available. Generally, the packages will be created in the initial stages of the project if it is a implementation. If it is a support project, based on your object, you can just discriminate what package you have to use. So in the initial KT sessions or the documentation, they'll mention like which package is used for which module. Then coming to the transport layer. So this transport layer is till where this package will be sent for transport. Like development, it will be there. Let me open. So there are three options here. This SAP will come as default, blank and SAP. The other things are custom actually. If it is blank, transport layer for local updates, like no transport at all. So this package will not be transported. SAP standard, what it does, it just puts in a temporary object and maps it. Then other transports are transport to production. So in real-time projects, we'll have transport to quality and then transport to production. So that is how we can decide. That's depending upon the requirement. Whether some developments will be like it will be moved only to the quality, not to the production. In such case, they'll select it accordingly. So currently, I'll select it transport to production. Then super package. So as discussed yesterday, uh, there are something called sub packages and super packages. If you give this as any super package, by default, the package which you are creating will become a sub package. Now we are into development, so this should be into development package. This main package and structure package will come in upgrade projects. Now I'll create it. So it will ask for a transport. Let me create at my own transport for demo. Not this is just a description randomly we give. So this naming convention and all will be given by the project. So what naming this should follow? Do not transport for testing purpose. So this project, if they want to group this transports, we can give the project. Otherwise, this is not required. This is a workbench required. We'll see in detail what are transports in later sessions. So I'll just give a transport number. Taking some time. Let's wait for that. Okay. So that package is created now. You can just have a look. Yeah. So we can use this package for all our objects. So this is saved. When if you try to create again, it will say boss it's already available. So this is the package creation. Now yesterday we were seeing this data dictionary. Okay, we were unable to create any table. So today we'll start creating tables also. So now we have seen the database table and structures, data elements, we have seen, structures we have seen, then domain we have seen. So with using this, we'll try to create a table today. So this is the basic thing. You will have multiple requirements, like you will either enhance a standard table or create a new table based on the requirement. So what I'll do is I'll give a name Mara demo table. So this is the name I'm giving. Create. So yesterday we didn't have access, so it was not able to create a demo table for Mara. So attributes, anyways, as discussed earlier, it will be defaultly coming. So the delivery class here, it's an application customizing. You put it as application because we are trying to use it as a transaction data here. This is just for an example. Display maintenance allowed. Then coming to the fields. So here my first field should be always client. MANTT. So we'll pick some fields from the Mara table just for demo purpose so that it will be familiar actually. So key field here is material number, so we'll pick that as it is. Material number. This is also a key field. We'll save it. So package demo ABAP. So here we'll get an option for local object, means it will not ask for any transport. You can just save it locally. So generally when maybe you are doing it for demo purpose or testing purpose, or you feel like this is not required to transport to the other system, you can put it as local object. If you put it as local object, that will go for okay, let me click that. It will go for temporary table. See, it will go for package will be temp, it's $temp always. Now see, the description is temporary objects never transport. Later we can modify this. There is a procedure. You can modify this to our package also. So now coming to the fields, we have Matner. Maybe I'll put another field called material group. Material group. I'll use the standard one only. Material group, same. If I click on enter, this will come up. Now we'll try to put one material description which is available already. Material description not be there actually here. Okay. That will be in MAKT. The material description short text we'll see. So this is this is from lowercase, means it will accept alphanumeric characters. So we'll copy this MAKTX. Then MAKTJ is material description uppercase for match codes. So this should be actually, this should not be, that means whatever value you give, it will be stored in uppercase only. So I'll copy this MAKTJ both. Fine. Now let's try giving any other predefined type. So I'll say my own description. So this one, field names, generally what they'll say is all any custom, I mean in a complete custom table there is no restriction for your field names. Whatever you want you can give. But when you are enhancing a standard field, standard table or standard structure, the field name should start with either YY or ZZ. So either Y or Z is dependent upon your client's naming standards, naming conventions. So yesterday we saw like data element you can give or predefined type also you can give. So if you give data element, the field length, the value tables, everything will come into picture. Now we'll see direct predefined data type. So the option of data element is gone. I'll give char 50 here and we'll see how it will behave. We'll see in the table. So these are very simple fields. Now if I can give, so my material number will have material is this one. So parameter ID search help. So it already has a search help. So when we click on F4, it should give us the material numbers. We'll see what is that in search help later. Now domain, we have conversion routine. This conversion routine we saw it yesterday, so same. The value table is Mara. So value table, so it will populate all the values there. We'll try now without giving the check table. We'll see how it works. I'll activate it. So it will ask, these are the default mandatory settings like technical settings. So data class, how many and then how many entries. I'll give 1900. No others, I'll just not change anything. I'll just save it. So now there is another setting called enhancement category, so that if that is not given, it will give a warning while checking. Okay, now if you anyone if anybody has previous knowledge on any other coding, for example if you say C++, there is something called compiler and executor. So compiler, what it will do, it will just run the, I mean check the code whether there are any errors or not. Then the executor will actually execute the code. So in the same ABAP, we have an option called check and activate. Not running actually, it will check then activate. So check is nothing but compiling, and in just that's the functionality, but backend nothing will happen. Once activated, that object is available for consuming. Till it is not activated, we cannot use this object. This is specific to all ABAP objects, not only tables. Every ABAP object, it should be inactive. It should not be either in revised. So if it is revised, it's like it is previously active. There are some changes done. So it is a revised. Let me show that. So it says warnings occurred. Because we haven't given the enhancement category, we'll see what is it. See, enhancement category is missing. So when you try to save, sometimes it will check automatically. So the check and save buttons are this one. This is check and this is activate. So now we'll try to give that enhancement category. I can say deep, copy. I'll again save it. I'll check now. So it still says inactive. No inconsistencies for now. You can click on active. Let's wait for the table to get activated. So currently it is like inactive state. So after my activation, it should be coming to active. Then we can start using it. Now it's active. So yesterday we were discussing about maintaining the table. See, we can maintain this table in three different ways. One, using directly program, like either update the entries in this table. Otherwise, we can just maintain directly. I mean, you have to create a table maintenance and directly maintain through SM30 transaction or create a maintenance view and through configuration. These are the three ways any table can be maintained. Now let's create a table maintenance. So this is a path, table maintenance generator. So authorization group, generally currently I'll give NC, means no authorization is required. So name of the function group, I'll just give the table name. I'll give us one step. So if you want to give screen numbers, you can just give find screen number. So it will propose display free or list screen. I'll just click on propose itself. It will give the screen number. This comes from a function group. So now I'll just leave other settings as it is and click on create. So it's again ask for the same object directory entry. So previously I gave it as a local object, so it will come again as a default one. You can change it anyways, always. I'll just save it as in a valid package. It's not taking. Let me give this. So it goes for my transport. So it's generating. Let's wait for the table maintenance to get generated. So once this is generated, we will be having an option to maintain that through the transaction SM30. Here it will come. So table name will always be coming by default, whichever table you open in the S11 transaction. Let's wait for this to get generated. Percent.
Do we do this for all the tables?
Not
So,
necessarily. So we do for the table which is required to maintain it manually. So there are some tables. So that actually comes for customizing tables, not for application or this one. So sometimes
Mhm.
what will happen is like through programs also we'll be doing it. But if there are some inconsistencies, they'll ask us to create this to maintain it manually. So only for
Okay.
that purpose we'll create. This is not a mandatory step.
Okay. Thank you.
let this generate. Maybe it's taking time. Meanwhile, we'll see what is a search help. Search help. So search help. Say you get an F4. Click. Yes, this is a search help. So fields, if are there having any search helps, here it will come. The shortcut for this is F4. So if you click on this, it will populate the values whatever are required. So we have roughly two kinds of search helps. One is a collective search help and next one is a simple search help. So that is a nomenclature. Let me open any search help if it is available. Star. They are okay. So there are so many. Okay, this is how the search help looks. So what we can do is the definition. So it should say for which field you have, you can attach it. So short description. Then coming to the data collection and data behavior. So how this will look actually. So when you give a F4, display values immediately, or there are three settings here. So based on your perfect requirement, you can give it. So in this parameters, you can give whatever parameters you need. Like for example, for selection, what you will need. So for here, the parameter is land one. That is, I think, country code. This will be the import and export. Means you want to take the value and give back the value. Based on that, you will check these boxes. Then LPOS and SPOS is the position in which you will have to place it, and what is the data element. In some cases, you will have to filter the what values you get. So you can give a search help exit here, which is generally a function module. It will be default having some import and export parameters. For manipulating the entries, you can use that search help exit. We'll see one search help exit also. I think this is now extend without limits. Okay, it has been generated. Let's close this transaction. The material number itself has a search help, so we'll see that. So if I go to material number, domain, here value table is there. Okay. If I go to search help, so this is how we can assign. If you just click, it lasts for. Then entry help and check. So this one, explicit search help attachment. This is the search help. So if you can double click, this will lead to my search help. So here, this is for finding material. So it already has another search help included in this. So in the definition, if you see, there is search help exit. Means if you can double click on this, it will go to my function module. This is a function module actually. See, function module. So the import parameters and export parameters will be default actually. And so this is search help, and what is the call control. If you see the code, so this is related to function module. So we'll discuss this. So the tables, there are two tables, and what are the entries you will pass on. So we'll see how it works. Now this one would be ready. I'll try to put maintain. So as I have given only single screen, so only directly it will come without selection. Now if I click on new entries, I can give my material number. I'll give like Z demo material. Material group. I have an F4L for material group as well. So I'll see what material groups are available. So this is a collective search help. Means you will have so many search help in different ways of searching it. If it is only single, it is called simple search help or single search help. So here I'll just give whatever it is. So I'll take randomly test material group. In material description, these were like three materials, like one is with the case sensitive. So I'll give all case sensitive. Okay, we'll see how it will behave. Test material. So this in the first material description to okay first. Okay, we'll just see how it behaves. This should take as it is, like means the camel case, the small and capital. The second one, it will have to take it as capitals because there is no checkbox there. And the third one, if you remember, we haven't given any domain or data element, so the label hasn't come here. It will just give a plus because there is no description, because descriptions will come from data element. We directly given data type. So this is how it looks. We'll be seeing that. So I save this. So this is a key field. So it will be in display mode. You cannot change the key field. If you want to change this, you'll have only option is delete it and give another entry. Now let's see how this looks in my table. This is 16N. We can browse this table entries in three different ways. As I said earlier, this is SC16N or SC16 or my SC11. So I'll just see. All three will see. So I have given one entry. Here we have the contents. So that will show my contents. So this is, there is no, see, technically there is no difference in the way we see it. It's completely based on our comfort. So it should have one entry. Number of entries 1. Okay. Here also you can just browse it. So it will come to the same screen. 1. So it shows correctly. So the other one is SC16N, which I use it. 1. So we'll see what is the entry. So see here also, if you observe this my own description, we haven't given any field, I mean data element. So there is no description coming here, field name. And see the first one, it was case sensitive, so it accepted as it is. Second one, we did not have that checkbox, lowercase. So whatever you give will be converted into capital, and same with the third one. Demo material. Okay, I think typo error. So this is how we can create and even modify. I mean, we can even delete the entries. We'll delete the entry. Save it. You can just play around like this. So if you see 0, gone, deleted. So this is how we create, edit and delete the entries. So edit and delete, it comes under modify. So this is on the table creation now. So next would be views. Let's see what is a view. So there are 4 types of views actually. But what exactly a view is, I'll tell you. See, suppose we have table 1 with maybe 10 fields. Then table 2 with another 10 fields. Okay. Now you have a requirement saying you don't need all 20 fields. See, in table 1 and 2, you will have total 20 fields. But your requirement is like you need only 5 fields, where first 3 fields are there in table 1 and next 3 fields are there in table 2, and you have to display them. Now in two, 3 ways we can do it. One is like on the program level, in SE38 you create a report, then create my output accordingly and show it. That is one way. The second way is you can create a view. While creating a view, there are types of views. I will go to that later. While creating a view, you can pick what field you need from which table. So that now you need only 5 fields. So out of 20, you can just select 5, and from which table what field you need and what is the link between these 2 fields. This view is only possible when there is a link between 2 fields. For example, Mara is table for material. So this is a generic example. It is not specific to anything. Now this material has a material description. Okay. Now what is it? MAKT is a table. So if you see here, this Mara and MAKT has a common field material number. In this case only, I can link these two tables, creating a view. So now, for example, I need only material description, material number, material group. Okay, but in Mara, they we have around 200 and something fields. Okay, 236. So if I have to merge these two, I can create a view. So same, we'll try to create Mara demo view, or we'll see what is. Okay, let's create it. No issues. I'll create. So we have four types of views. Okay, database view, projection, maintenance, and help. So these are actually not the different types of view. See, view concept is the same. Like you merge two to three uh, tables. See, this is a simple example. I'm taking two tables, but in used case it will be three, four tables. So the database view, projection, maintenance, and help. The how different usage is based on that we'll select this. The database view. So there are some definitions like some four lines, 5 lines definitions are there. I'm not going into those. We'll just see how these will work. So now the database view is on different database tables, like three, four tables is a basic usage of my view. Now projection view, it's like again, it's actually related to how you project the table. Means we'll take an example on that. Maintenance view, see this is used for the maintaining the table. Like you can both read the entries and write the entries. Help view is only for F4 helps. Okay, so now I'll try to put a database view. You will have all these definitions in the material, so it will be easy for you. Now I'll put like Mara and MAKT. Okay, a table. What tables you want to join, you'll have to put it here. Mara I'm taking, MAKT I'm taking. So I was telling previously, we should have something in common to link it. So that will come under the join conditions. So now, what is the linking condition here? Mara tables, Matner is my MAKT tables, MAT, we'll see whether this will accept or not. Okay, it's create, I'll create as a local object. No table fields are filled. Yeah, we haven't given any fields now, so it will give that message. Now if I go to view fields, so now I'll put Matner. From which table you want to see that? Either so it will give an options. See, whatever we give in the previous tables, it will come here. I'll take Mara. So this is the fields for display. Okay, view field name and the actual field name. This will come on the view, whatever you give. Suppose in view field, I'll give material number. In my table, what is the field? That I'll have to give it here. So it's my material number. So this will come, short description, everything will come here. So I'll click save, we'll see what will happen. Now it will ask for local object. So I can give how many numbers I want. Material group. So this is there in my Mara table. So you can take Mara. Then what is the field in Mara table? Material group. Okay, so this is my material group. Now I want to show the description from my second table. So what I'll do is description. I'll take. I want to show it from a second table. So in second table, I have two fields. One is language key and material description. So what I'll do is material description short text. I'll show even the language. So this one I'll show it from, let me decide, the second table, MAKT. which is the field, I'll give language key. So now that is done. Okay, so these are the fields which I can show. This is my view fields. Now select conditions. If you have by default selections, if you need one want to give, you can give it here. Like for example, I can say like, okay, for material numbers 1 to 10 only show this, use this view. I can give the selection statements here. It's like comparative operations. Table name, field name, what is the operator, what is the comparison value. If you want multiple conditions, suppose you want to display from 0 to 10, then 20 to 10 to 20 you want to leave it, 20 to 30 you want to show. So you can give like table name, matter, field name, material number, operator between. So you'll see what are the operations. See, equal to, then so these are like bitwise operators and character-wise operators. So you will see both, like symbols you will see as well as in text you will see. Equal to will have two, not equal to will have two, greater than, less than, equal to, like this you can. So if you want to give multiple ranges, you can give the operators here accordingly. So this one and or, this is a logical. It will be either and condition or condition, both. In my maintenance status, same. So how you give the maintenance status in my database table, you can give it. By default, it will be allowed here. Read only. Okay. So now joining condition, it is there. I'll save it. Check it. Okay. Group contains a blank. Please correct it. Okay. Let's see what is this error. Check key field. Okay. MA and AT, it's expecting here. One thing. Okay. Key field. Yeah. I gave a blank which is not accepting. Sorry. It should be underscore. No blanks in between is allowed, so that is the reason it kept. Okay, only warnings. Let's activate it. So these views actually are the base for my advanced topic called CDS views, which is coming on HANA. All the CDS and analytical views are the basic things of this. So there are whatever joint conditions we give actually are called some joint condition. I'll tell you what is that in a pictorial way. There are suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, around 5 to 6 joins available, table joins. So this is the basic concept of all my advanced concepts. Let me tell you what are those. So we have this is the basic mathematics actually. So we can just try to understand in the mathematical way. Later we can come to the ABAP way. So I'll just try to put this. Okay. Simple. So this is one is my table A and another is my table B. So in interviews, some people will just start asking how will you join two tables, because any report you write or any data selection, this is the basic statement. Okay, so try to understand this concept so that on a table level it will be very easy for you to understand. So now this is a set. Now I have table A and table B. So this the part between these two where it is overlapping, should I color that? That will be easy actually. I'll put this in paint. That will be more easy. Okay. Now let me show this part. Okay, this is called A subset B in my mathematical terms. So here what we'll say is, that's too big. Let me reduce the font size 14. The first one is A inner join B because it is inside. So what it will do is it will take the records which are common to my both A and B. So that is my A inner join B. There is a syntax we'll discuss in reports that. Now I'll come to the next part. Uh, let me show that just a minute. So now I come to this one. Okay, now it is called, see this is inner, so this is will be my outer. So this will be my left outer join, means it will select all the entries in table A which are not common with table B. Okay, this is as simple as this image is. This is second one. So I'll write what it is. Now A left outer join B. So I means here I just merge these two tables and select only the entries which are not common between A and B in A. So that is the logic for this. The third one would be the opposite way. So if I take this circle, now it will be A right outer join B. So it's very simple from the image, like I'll pick only the entries which are not common in A and B in my B table. So these are the three different joins, but majorly used is inner join only. A inner join B is the majorly used join. So now coming back to the views, my view is ready now. Let me see my database view. SC11. So here the same we have that contents as well. So same way you can browse. We'll try browsing that. So in selection we have material number, material group, everything we have. So now what I'll do is maybe I'll pick one material group. Okay, let me see. Calculator. So this is a description. So if I enter it, it will pick the values from both the tables and give it. See, if you see, I have taken the material number. So this material group is from my first table and my description language is from my second table. So this is how the view works. So in the advanced concepts called CDS use, you will have some 6 to 7 tables to join based on different linkages. So this is the basic example of linking two tables. So other views you can do on the used case basis, the help view, projection view, all this. Not sure what happened. I clicked on relationships. Let me open. So we can just see, suppose if you want to see in a Mara table, what are the fields available to map. So you can click on this relationships so that it will show all these tables. See, so my Mara is linked with these many tables because that is a basic material master. You will have so many entries. So this is the linkage actually. So how they are linked. If you want, I mean, you don't know, suppose for example, you need some field name and you don't know which table to map in, you can just have a reference. But for standard tables, definitely there will be more entries. You see, there are more than 1,000 entries. So you can just copy that and instead of just giving it here, you can just copy that. So you'll see how it will get copied. Copy, then that will come here. So the advantage of doing this is it will automatically map the fields what is required. So you need not search for the fields which is required. So it will map directly. So I given that one. So it says MGF EF and Mara. It has linked both. So my Mara and my MGF. That is system delivered. You can easily find that mappings. So that is on my views. So other three views you can just try creating while practicing it. Now coming to data type, we have seen what is the structure yesterday. So here data elements we have seen, structures we have seen. So my data type, everything is my data, even database comes into my data type. Views we have seen. So we'll see what is a table type and class interface. So class interface is coming from my OOPS concept. So we'll try to see what is this table type. So this table type is like it is actually looks like a table, but it will not store values. So I'll tell you where is the use case of it. So for example, this is in a complete programmatical manner. So what will happen is in my, suppose for example, if you take my function modules. So there is a requirement saying you have to pass some maybe 10-15 materials with the details required. So they will take a table type and pass that. That is just a temporary table. It will not store the data at the database level, but temporary level when the execution is happening either in my report or program or interfaces, wherever. Its lifetime is only while the program is being executed. This example we'll see in reports or function modules. Then comes the type group. So see, it's like something called interface. So interface means it will have only the skeleton. You will have to use it somewhere. So for example, if you have in a project, maybe material example, this is just an example. There are certain fields, some declarations you will have to do. In the program, there is something called data declaration. Means in that particular program, whatever you want to use, you will use that. So the typical statements will be like data, and they will declare whether you want a structure or a variable and what type. Now if I say local variable material number, type matter, this is my data element. Okay, we'll see this in program. Data declaration is the basic part of a program. So we'll see all these examples in program. Just to explain what is a table type and type group, I'm just giving this example. So in suppose I have 10 data declarations, 10 or 15 data declarations. You want to keep on using those in some 15-20 reports. Now what happens? Then 10 lines in 20 reports, it's around 200 lines of code. It is like just copy pasting, copy pasting. Instead, what you can do is you can create a type group and just reuse it. So the type group, it will just have the data declaration. See, type pool, and it is a data declaration. Nothing else you will have. So yeah, the constants, types. This is a table type actually. So types. These are syntaxes we'll see in programs. Then types. This table type. The TT is for table type. So that this is a standard naming convention. So this is a structure. So they are defining a structure and then a table type out of structure. So this structure also can be from your SE11 structure. Suppose you have some 100 fields in the structure, but you don't want to use all those 100 fields. You need only 10 fields. Then you can define these types of types, then a table type out of it or a structure. This is by default a structure. These are types. So when you want to use these types in your program, you have to create a data. So these are all syntaxes where actually something happens in the backend database. So if you give a type, it will just create one reference and keep it. As long as you give a data, it will not create an actual object in your memory. That is, these are all directly linked to my memories. How you want to use those. So in types, in type groups, we'll have group of types. I think now only lock object is pending. Let me see what is that lock object. Now, concept of locking means, let me explain that. So now you have a table called Mara. Okay. Now maybe from 5 users are using it. Now the worst case will be like material 100. All 5 users are editing material 100. Okay. Now what will happen is in the without a lock, what is the case, and with lock, what is the case, we'll see. See, these locks are generally taken care by the system, but when you create a Z object, you will have to explicitly do it. For a standard table, Now material number 100, 5 users are using it. First user put it as mat1, then he saves it. Meanwhile, the second user put it as mat2. Likewise, the third, fourth fellow at the end it will be mat5. Now what happens? The latest value is mat5 and that will get saved in database table. But for user one, what will happen? He will think like, yeah, I have put mat1, it should be mat1, but actually it is mat5. So this is a case of improper lock handling. Typically, what should happen when the first user is entering the description, when the second user, third user, fourth, and fifth user, any one of these four users open it, it should say, "Bus user one is editing it. You are not supposed to edit." To handle this, there is something called lock object. You can place a lock on the whole table as or you can place a lock on individual record. So we have couple of types in lock objects. So for the same table, we'll try to create a lock object. Okay, so let's create lock object would begin with the okay naming convention setting. Uh, it should be a warning actually. It should not allow. Okay. No authorization to create. Let me check that. We will see what an lock object is. Will at least I'll just show that. See anything is available. So I'll randomly open some lock object just to show it. Okay, so in this lock object, you can just say which table you want to put the lock, the table name, as well as the lock mode. Means these are the lock modes available, like write lock, read lock. So write lock is the most commonly used. Okay, like saying I am editing the table and no one else can edit the table. Then there are read locks. Each has a different purpose actually. So mostly we'll use write lock only because we don't have any issue when I'm editing the entry. Someone else is at least having a look at it. But there are certain critical data like maybe finance data, currency data. So at that point of time, what people will do, at even read log they'll put saying, "Boss, this is being edited. Don't have a look at it." So these are the options available for us. Then log parameters. Now, if we keep this blank, what will happen is whatever whenever the user uses it, it will place a lock on the complete table. Suppose there are 1,000 records and I'm using maybe 5 to 10 records. If there is no lock parameter, it will lock my whole table. So if I want to put a lock, especially for my uh, 10 entries or 15 entries, whatever I'm editing, if you give that table name and field names, so for that particular key fields only the lock will be set. Now we'll have two function modules for every lock object. One is enqueue, I mean for locking and unlocking. We'll try to get the lock modules. Okay, so as I said earlier, there will be two. One is for request lock and one is for release lock. Enqueue and dequeue. Enqueue will put a lock and dequeue will release the lock. This is common for every table. Randomly you take anything, we'll have two modules. So here if you want to add this suppose dependent tables in suppose for example what we saw now is Mara and MAKT we have. So when I'm editing Mara, if you want to put a lock on my secondary table as well, you can give that name here. Secondary table and what kind of lock you want to put. This is applicable only when my table which you are using here in the lock object has any dependent or linked tables. At that point of time, you can use this lock. So that's all on data dictionary. I guess yes, I have covered all. Such self will create when we are creating any program. So today's I think we haven't covered any new transaction codes. Yesterday I was showing you one transaction code called SC80, the above workbench. So we'll see how we what are available there. Okay. So
I have a question, Raj.
yes, yes, go ahead.
If I wanna find a custom tables, let's say I'm a functional consultant. If I wanna see custom tables, then how can I go and
No,
check?
SC11 you will have access. SC11, 16, XC16, yeah, these two, anything you can take it up and you can have a look. There is no restriction provided you will have access for that, because every transaction is access control. There is a separate module called GRC, so that will take care of roles, authorizations, everything. So if you are authorized to have a look at the table, you can have a look. That's a direct way. Or you are asking like what table you want to find, or you know the table and you want to see the entries, which is the scenario.
No, no. I just wanna see what are all the custom tables created.
Or you can just go there, here, give G star, click on F4
Okay.
help. See, actually, every object in my data in my SAP will have a table in the backend. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
SC16, every object you say name it, programs, tables, everything. So this just for example, all my programs will be there in table called TADIR. Okay, display of repository objects. Every program will be there. Every program, object, everything will be there. Okay, this is for my the repository, complete repository means my whole SAP system. There, three, four ways are there find there to find the table. So now if I give object type TABL, uh, there is something called TABL. Where is it? Okay, let me put that directly. TA star. Let me show you to that. It is somewhere. ST. See, TABT technical table definition TABD, TABT, and all these three. Okay. So if you want to find a table name, you can just give TABD, and object name if you know like G star, it will show. It will take a lot of time. Just give me a couple of minutes. So table definition in the sense whatever you give in my SC11, I think it is not taking up object name. And there is another table called DD03L. What is this for? Table fields. So this is for table fields. Okay. So here you have a table name. You can give G star. So whatever you enter in C, you have 30,400 fields. This is the field level actually. Okay. So if you want to see what tables are there, you can just come randomly. If you know, wildcard entries are always available. So if you know that the table starts with M, so GM star. So it will give all my random names. Number of entries 9,000. So these are the field level. On tables, I think it's DHG03. Some table would be that DHG03 star. See, everything has a table in the backend. That's for sure. Table structure, the table fields with data elements, all are table fields. DD0. So DD stands for data dictionary. Okay, so data dictionary star. You can just search table. Everything is on table fields actually. We'll find see SAP table DD02L. Okay, so if you come here,
Mm-hmm.
you can just see what give me activity status. So if you want to just know what all are my table, just give Z star. Sorry, not activity status. Table name Z star. Not only tables, every object, any object you name, it has a backend table. Z star. So there are 1,700 G tables in my system. You can just remove this restriction. These are all my Z tables in my system. 1,700. So these are all Z tables. So list of we'll find all the tables here. Then to understand what it does, you will have to go to the individual table. So these are my Z tables in my system. If people follow proper naming convention, it will be easy for you to identify it. the better the naming convention, better way is to identify. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. Got that?
Yeah,
Yeah, fine.
thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think we are done. Okay, we are coming here. So this application, this ABAP development workbench will have most of my all packages and group, whatever it is, you can navigate, use it. I'll give a package just for selections. I'll just see Z demo star. We'll see if I'm getting my package. Z demo ABAP. Okay. So whatever object displayed here are into my mm, hierarchy display. So I haven't put anything into my package, so it doesn't show anything. So let me see if I have any Z packages here. Maybe I'll take Adobe. Just will see what it is. So it will say what all are objects available. Everything will be shown in an hierarchy mode here. Whatever object you take, it will be shown in hierarchy. So data dictionary. See local objects on my username. What are the local objects I have created will come here. Okay, it's asking for it. No filter set. So what will I do is I'll give user here. So these are temporary for my user. So I have created the function group in temporary if you remember. So it will show all my object whatever I created in a temporary mode. This is like a one-stop solution for all my objects. So for example, if you want to see different database tables here, you have to navigate between all. But you have to remember the names. Here it is not like that. You will get all the list in under one roof. So this is the advantage of ABAP Workbench. So this is it for today's session. So from tomorrow we'll start try starting creating any programs on this. Meanwhile, you can practice this all data dictionary objects and get back to me if you have anything on that. So thanks for that. Yeah, bye. Take care.